This could be interesting. Not exactly sure what we're getting into. Woohoo! Tomorrow is not guaranteed for anybody. So you might say, oh, I want to travel in 10 years. You may get hit by a bus tomorrow. One of New Zealand's most beautiful beaches, Mai Tai Bay. And you might be asking yourself a particular question which many people find themselves asking when they come to Mai Tai Bay. And that is, might I have a Mai Tai? Look at the water coming through. Some of these basic huts are $5 a night. This one happens to be free. So the difference between $15 and free is pretty evident. Don't see any firewood. They do have a chimney. Woo! Sam is gonna tear this thing down before we leave. She is really just getting into the snacks so violently that she knocked my bag over. There is no time like the present because tomorrow is not guaranteed. So why not live one day at a time, but soak the marrow of that day or that moment, suck that essence as much as possible.
This is avalanche country, or I should say, yeah, this is the avalanche country.
So we had seen some deer tracks in the snow, and now we see these possum tracks. And the interesting thing is the possum tracks are inside the deer tracks. So they're kind of like following along where the deer went. It's like the animal highway here.
Look like might be favorable avalanche conditions. You can definitely see why it has been referred to as a dinosaur forest, this primitive, ancient, massive forest. So you can see Mount Nagaruho right there as we're approaching the circuit, and that is the inspiration for Mount Doom in the Lord of the Rings movies. You know, there's a poem that I like to quote a lot, gather ye rosebuds while ye may, but it is called a sundew, and that is a carnivorous plant, much like a Venus flytrap. It has a sticky goo that it secretes that's the insects get stuck to, and then has tentacles which wrap around them and use enzymes to digest those insects. This same flower that smiles today, tomorrow will be dying, and that is the truth about our planet. That is the truth about our experience, our life. This flower, this life that blooms today, that smells sweet and looks beautiful, will be gone tomorrow. We came down here to the river valley after we took in some epic views of the glacier, had a little snack. Now we're gonna go up into some of these canyons, see how close we can get to these waterfalls. You know, I feel like humans are natural adventurers and explorers. We're meant to be doing constantly new things. Good morning from what feels like the top of the world here, a little bit above Mueller Hut. Beautiful sunset yesterday, beautiful sunrise. Just amazing show that the light put on against the backdrop of these glaciers and mountains and the clouds. The track has been referred to as the finest walk in the world. So we're gonna see if that's true. But already the boat ride in, I think, is worth the $200. Just take my money. That boat ride was awesome. You know, the mountains of New Zealand were formed very quickly through tectonic activity. And so because of that, you can get out into the backcountry, into some serious scenery with half a day hike at the most, and you are just out in this epicness. We've seen signs that say, please don't feed the Kia, in English and German.
Bitte nicht der Kia futtern.
So I'm wondering if some Germans have been caught feeding the Kias. I mean, I'm not going to point any fingers. It just so happens the sign is both English and German. This waterfall got lost to history up until 2015. The area around it used to be orchards, and those orchards were subdivided. And then once they were subdivided and built up, there was no access to this waterfall, and the whole area around it became overgrown. And it wasn't until 2015 that a local group reinstated access to this beautiful waterfall. Right now, I think they found me. They're crawling on my camera, they're crawling on me, but if you keep moving, if you move just a little bit, if you keep it moving, the sandflies will not find you. Peak season ends at the end of April, and then you have a month until, a little bit more than a month, until they remove those stream crossing bridges June 5th, which is the Queen's birthday. I didn't know New Zealand had a queen, but I think her name is Jacinda Ardern. And so I beg you, with the urgency in all of my being, to live a full life. That has been my goal with this channel from the beginning, and you don't have to travel to do it. You can explore your own backyard, but I feel like at a certain point, after you've explored all there is to explore in your backyard, you gotta take the next step. You gotta see what's over there. Kia's flying overhead. The world's only alpine parrot is found here in New Zealand, and there's like 2 or 3 of them flying over my head right now. Under the snow, even though I'm thigh deep, there's like grass and stuff that's super slippery. Some big chunks of ice coming off this Tani Mahuta, which is the largest tree in New Zealand. It's over 2,000 years old. Behind me, shrouded in these mysterious clouds, is the dormant volcano Taranaki, one of the most symmetrical mountains in the entire world. Some of you are probably like, why do you always have to get all up in stuff like the arch? Why do you have to swim through it? Why do you have to jump off of it? And my answer would be because that is my nemesis. That is my rival. Not that particular arch, not any natural geological formations in general, but the idea of apathy, indifference, and ignorance. You see, because a long time ago, someone told me I should never go in a sea cave, because people die in sea caves. You should never cliff jump, because pretty much any cliff jumping area, someone has probably died there, because they didn't know what they were doing. Same thing with sea caves, same thing with anything. You should never climb a mountain, because someone died there. You should never do X, because somebody died. And you know what? I'm all about incorporating other people's real world experience into my own learning process, but hearsay is not beneficial for anyone, because all that does is it sets you up to be in a fearful mindset. And instead of being inquisitive and adventurous and wanting to learn about your natural world, it makes you fearful of the natural world. Oh, don't step in the ocean because there are sharks there. So in that sense, the arch is symbolic of my rival, my nemesis, apathy, indifference, and ignorance. Taking action, exploring, learning. Can I do this? I don't know. I'm going to do it as safe as possible, building off previous experiences, right? That's what I'm all about. So when I tell you to get out there and find your adventure, that's what I mean. Don't do anything stupid, but you know what you're capable of. Sometimes you don't know what you're capable of until you push yourself that extra step, maybe with the help of a mentor or a friend. Get out there off the beaten path and have fun. Be respectful of nature, but find your adventure.
What?
I had a so-called second.
Wait, you want to go get some ice cream after this?
So this is possibly a 6 to 8 hour day to the epic 360 degree. Wow, so beautiful. Why?
Oh, it's foggy. Oh, no, it's not foggy.
Here at Lake Marion, absolutely beautiful waterfall here. Are you okay?
Sure. Well, woo, that water's cold.
Right now, the round the mountain track is. Remember what it's called. What is it called? All mountains in New Zealand are and today we're going to be doing. Plenty more coming from New Zealand, but in the meantime, get out there, find your adventure, and be infamous.